Hello everybody, my name is David, this is David K Reacts, and here on this channel I ramble with articulation, I hope, about a variety of musical, audio and visual features of videos that I watch. And today is going to be my 3,000 subscriber bonus video. I say bonus video, it's not in addition to any other videos this week, but what I did was, when I hit 3,000 subscribers, I put a post up saying that, I was on like 2,998, and I said whoever is my 3,000th subscriber will get to pick the video that I do, quote-unquote, next. I say next in quote marks because it happened right before Video Game Month, which was already programmed in. So that has just finished, and this video is happening now. And this video was chosen by Ms. Chuck Fu, who was my 3,000th subscriber. Thank you very much for joining me. And I'm going to be looking at Faouzia's Hero. Faouzia is an artist I had never even heard of before this recommendation came my way. I did a little bit of study on Wikipedia. I've pulled it up just because there were a few facts and I wanted to make sure I got stuff correct. Faouzia is a Moroccan-Canadian singer-songwriter. She hails right now from Manitoba, or at least I believe she still lives there. Certainly that's where she moved to. And she came up at the age of about 15 or 16. She got an opportunity with La Chicane Électrique, which is a competition that takes place here in Canada, and got noticed. She got second place in Canada's Walk of Fame's Emerging Artist Mentorship Program, and has just continued on with success. And actually, it's really, really impressive. She's got an astonishing career, given that she's only 23, almost 24 at this point. She's been featured on singles with Kelly Clarkson, with David Guetta, with Galantis, with Nino. She's had quite a sort of very easily respected career at this point, and I'm really interested to see what she does. Wikipedia says she's a blend of pop, R&B, synth pop, and acoustic pop, but the comment is made that her lyrics tend to be more sort of in-depth than the word pop sometimes suggests to people, so I'm very excited to see what's what. Influences are a wide variety of people, including Rihanna, Kelly Clarkson, Beyonce, Ariana Grande, John Legend, whole variety of people. And major influences as a songwriter include Beyonce, Lady Gaga, and Sia. So very interested to see what comes of all of that combination. This song, Hero, is a non-album single. It made it to number 21 in the number 34 in the Canadian Adult Contemporary chart, and to number 21 in the Canadian Contemporary Hit Radio chart. So it did pretty well for itself. And yeah, I don't know much more about this. I'm fascinated to see what comes of this. I understand that she holds very strongly to her Moroccan culture, and grew up wearing Moroccan clothes, eating Moroccan food, that sort of thing. So I assume there will be a fairly heavy influence of that in her music. That's awesome. I've been to Morocco, actually. It's the only place I've been to so far in Africa, which I would like to go to more of the country. But I absolutely loved it there. It was beautiful, and quite an extraordinary experience to go. I don't really have much more to say about this because I don't know Faouzia and I don't know the song. So I'm just going to jump ahead and say, well, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if this is your first time here. If it is, the way this works, I'm going to watch the video through from beginning to end, emoting and commenting over the top of it. I will then go back and watch it a second time, pausing and interrupting and offering what commentary and analysis I feel I can. If you enjoy what you're hearing, please do like the video, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And if you would care to, you can donate to support the channel at buymeacoffee.com/David K Reacts, where you can offer a one-off donation. Patreon.com/David K Reacts, where you can sign up for $2 Canadian a month, and that will also give you access to my Discord, or you can leave a super thanks here on YouTube. Any of those gratefully appreciated, and I would like to throw out some thanks. And I have thanks to offer to Holly G, who just joined my Patreon. Thank you for being a new patron for me. I very much appreciate that. And also to someone, to Christine Stromberg, to Marie Desjardins, and to Rachel R.M. Dewberry, all of whom bought me coffees during Video Game Month, and all of my Video Game Month videos had been recorded prior to Video Game Month, and so this is the first video I'm recording where I've actually got that information to offer. So I'm sorry it's a little bit late, but thank you to all of you. I really appreciate your support. That's everything, I think, so without any further delay, let's bring up the video and check out Faouzia's Hero. I didn't expect that! More video game content, okay.
Few things I really have to know before I go and let you in.
Oh, this is cool.
Don't wanna be rushing, no, and make the same mistakes again. Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend? Through the thick and the thin, never second guessing with you. Don't wanna wake up wishing I never gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true.
She's created a serious aesthetic here.
Would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life. But if I were to save you, would you do the same? And catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling. If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life. But if I were to save you, would you do the same? And catch
I love what she's done with this.
That's what my mind is
See
saying.
sass.
I think I've been through it too much, so you gotta assure that this love is short. Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend? Through the thick and the thin, never second guessing with you. Don't wanna wake up wishing I never gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true. If I was your hero, would you be
I really like what she's done. The lyrics in this are great. I love this repeated falling. That's really cool. Ooh, that climb at the back, that's gorgeous. And she's playing the game, of course she is. I love the like retro style outro. Oh, that's so much fun! I totally see why this was recommended as, this kind of came up, as I say, during Video Game Month. Very appropriate video for that. That's so cool! I really like what she did with that. That's a really catchy song. I love her voice. Her voice is gorgeous. And I really like some of what she did with that. Let's just have a quick glance and see what... Obviously, we got the credits there, but is there any information here in the description? The credits again. And then we got the lyrics down here. Excellent. I wonder if they're on closed captions. It'd be useful to have those up. And then a bunch of information. I do immediately want to... I mean, honestly, everybody involved in this did a great job. But Faouzia's stylist, hair, makeup, nails, etc. I love the different looks that she had during this video. It made it really dynamic that you kept getting these changes into different characters, introduced one by one through the video, set up with that character selection screen at the beginning. Really, really clever stuff there. And then, Void Striker, intro, outro music. Actually really, really liked that. This... I'm really impressed by. I think that's really cool. Kudos to everybody involved with this. The credits is way too long for me to go through. But I really, really enjoyed that. Let's go back to the beginning and see what I can pull out of this. And I feel like it's going to be quite a bit, because this is a really involved video. I like it. So right away we get this kind of, it's more than 16-bit. It's got that retro style to it, but it's that contemporary retro, if that makes sense, where it's kind of harking back to it a little bit, whilst being a little bit more involved. I love that that's how we start this off, and I love that we immediately get the characters. This could be the splash screen for a game. And I really, really like that. I think that's cool. I think you get the title, you get the name of Faouzia's name, and you get that sort of old school, very pixelated text down at the bottom. I'm curious if this could, it looks like there are elements in this that are designed to be seen in 3D, but sort of old school 3D, where you have the red and blue offset. Does that work? I have nothing to test that with, but I'm curious, because it looks like it should. Anyway. I also like that we get that boom, boom. There's that deep note that's coming in down there. It's giving a bit more oomph to that sound, and I think that's one of the things that makes it sound a little bit more contemporary. I like that you have that. I like that it gives you that little bit of weight to that introduction. That's nice. I think it's a really cool thing, especially because it's going to go. The arrangement is going to go up a little bit from here. I just want to look at these characters quickly. Oop. Oh, we don't really get very long on her. But I love that we get this. They have their different. What's this going to be? Health, energy, attack damage, that sort of thing. I love that they all have stats. It's a very simple thing. This isn't sort of super in-depth, but it gets the vibe across very quickly. And that's really kind of what you want from this. You don't want somebody to have to pause. I'm pausing and studying because that's what I do on this channel. But I like the fact that you don't have to do that to actually get this information. Also notice the hero changes. Like, you've got this flicker here. And it's just a little bit more sedate here. Subtle things, and then this kind of huge lens flare effect that we've got. But I love that we have, they've all got either a foe or a Zia in their names. So we have Flaming Foe, Breezier. Breezier's got a little bit more health, a little bit less damage by the looks of it. We have Sweet Zia, who has way more star. Maybe that's their special move. And a little bit less energy. Subtle things, but I love that all of this changes. And then Sweet Zia is chosen and is our sort of protagonist character, who we get as the majority singer of this video. And I love that you've got this beautiful sort of, this is Wisteria, I think. Obviously out of focus, I can't quite see, but it's this, I grew up with that, and it's beautiful. Absolute nightmare when the petals start falling. And they get rained on. It's a nightmare to clean up, but it's such a beautiful plant, this lovely hanging purple flower. I'm particularly fond of it. And I love the aesthetic that they create here. You've also got the added sort of sparkles that have been put in here. We've got this very kind of bright, you've got your pinks, you've got your opalescence going on. It's very light, airy colours. And I think that's a really nice way to start this off, because we kind of get into deeper colour effects and things like that as we go through the song, but it's nothing too strong to start off with. And I think that works for starting out as she does, with a slightly sort of less involved arrangement that is then going to sort of increase in complexity as we go through the song.
Few things I really have to know.
Nice. I like what they're doing here with the editing too. Obviously it's on the beat, you would expect that. I like that we have just this pizzicato string start at the beginning. That's what I'm saying, it's very light. There's nothing heavy at this point in time, it's just that until her voice comes in. But I like that we get this these quick little edits, and then the second time around it doesn't cut so much. It gives us a little bit more time to linger before we go into her singing. There's two quick edits there. This time we cut and we stay. Also, I love the butterflies flying around. Like, so many little details put in to make this a very, very kind of involved scene straight off the bat.
Few things I really have to know before I go and let you in. Don't wanna be rushing, no, and make the same mistakes again.
This whole beginning is such a fantastic. I'm talking a lot about the look right now. I'll come back to the singing in a moment. But I love that you get these struck poses that are just held, and at the same time she's still moving. Like, she has that motion of bringing her hands down while the others are just holding a pose. It's actually very effective because it means that we're introducing this dynamic element of movement, and the dancers are coming in, but they don't steal focus away right at the beginning of the song. They still allow focus to stay on Faouzia, which is fantastic because it gives her that moment to establish herself in the scene. Really, really effective. It's like this lovely thing of the two sitting to begin with, the two inner standing up, and then Faouzia at the front creates a very nice tableau. Thank you. I was having a word with my friend Jen, and she reminded me of the word tableau, which is the word I've been trying to think of. Well, more than that, she reminded me a couple of weeks ago, but I was trying to think about it the whole way while I was recording Video Game Month videos, because I kept not remembering. I wanted to say diorama, which is not the right word at all. Tableau is the word I was looking for. You get that lovely setup that just kind of brings the dancers into the scene without having them kind of kick off straight away, and I really like that. Now let's go back on this singing for a sec.
Few things I really have to know before I go and let you in. Don't wanna be rushing, no.
This is really nice. You have this very simple fifth. Don't wanna be, and then the bow. She brings in so much more complexity on the way down into the sort of riff that she does there. Whereas the ba da 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 da, fairly simple musical motion, but made more interesting by this da 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 da. Really, really effective way of having a simple melody that hits key notes that are not particularly adventurous, I guess, but does it in a way that makes it so much more interesting. It's really cool. I meant to see if I had captions. Do I have captions? Oh, turn that off. I don't want auto-generated Spanish, thank you very much. We'll try the auto-translate. It's probably not going to work very well. I'll stop this if it's terrible. Okay, that's just wrong.
Don't wanna be rushing, no, and make the same mistakes again. Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend through the thick and the thin, never second?
That's a really nice starting lyric. Don't want to make the same mistakes again. Tells you something about this character immediately. They're not happy with how something has gone previously in the past. It's a very, very simple way of, you're referencing something that has happened before. She doesn't need to go into detail. We don't need the detail of what happened. Just, she's on the lookout for something better this time around. That tells us a lot about where she's at right now. So I want to jump back once more because I interrupted myself with that whole captions nonsense.
Few things I really have to know before I go and let you in.
Even that first one, that tells you straight away, really, before I go and let you in. That doesn't sound like somebody who hasn't been involved with somebody previously. It sort of sets up immediately that there's something we're coming out of. I really like this lyric, actually. I'm kind of focusing on it because I read that thing saying her lyrics are deeper than usual. Maybe I'm diving super deep into this, but it's fascinating to me. I think it's interesting when somebody makes that comment. I want to pick it apart and see what's what, and understand where that came from.
Don't wanna be rushing, no, and make the same mistakes again. Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend?
I like the fact that she's also got this very innocent look at the moment while she's then saying, would you be there fighting? Even though she's going to be the one fighting throughout the course of this video. It's a really, really nice choice. I also like that we have this variety of pinks going on the screen, both behind and in front. We have that lovely wisteria with the purple, but then we have these very pink and white flowers in the pots to either side, drifting off into yellows and blues in the background. There's a wide variety of colour going on at the moment, but then there's this cohesiveness with the dancers, but even then, the tights that they're wearing, you've got 3 different shades of pink. 2 on one side, 2 on the other side, and then the almost white shade that Faouzia herself is wearing. I really like what they've done with colour. I think it's such a big part of this video, especially because we're going to keep changing setting into widely or wildly even different settings. I think it's actually really, really effective the way that they've dressed everybody and things. That's why kudos to everybody involved in the production of this. It's a killer video.
Mistakes again. Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend? Through the thick and the thin, never second guessing with you. Don't wanna wake up wishing I never gave.
These graphics right now, I love. I mean, there's something so... I recognize that round one. I'm trying to think, is that Street Fighter? I'm not 100% certain. I'm not really a big fighting game person. I kind of enjoy watching people, especially people who are good, play them. I'm not particularly big on them myself, so my knowledge is maybe a little limited. I feel like that's Street Fighter. But I love that we have that. I love the representation of these visuals. Again, I feel like some of this should be watched in 3D, almost. But I love that we have this kind of retro 3D, as I say, with that sort of red and blue offset. We have these extremely retro backgrounds with these massively obvious textures, like these trees sort of having one or two or three giant pieces of bark rather than, being individualized as they would be, and then this very kind of 8-bit grass going on down below. The way that they've detailed this is fantastic. If anybody hasn't played a fighting game in their life, which I imagine is a fair few folks who might watch this, everything about this is very, very stereotypical of what there is. You have these two health bars. The more damage you do to your opponent as you fight them, the more the health bar decreases. You see, in Green Golly's case, the yellow of the health is disappearing to leave the red of the bits that have been damaged. And once that yellow disappears completely, the character is knocked out. However many, it's usually best of 3 rounds or something like that. So whoever wins 2 rounds wins the fight. This is all very, very typical. And then you have this lovely thing of the sort of realistic-looking characters who are so obviously green-screened in. And I am very certain that they could do a much better job of the green screening. I think this is obviously a very deliberate choice to make them look janky and retro, and I love it. The very first Mortal Kombat, if you didn't know, they actually had people mocap, and they put in these really janky bits of footage of real people doing these moves, and it's why it's so jarring seeing the character versus the backgrounds and things like that, because they've kind of swapped in real people, and obviously it became more and more CG as time went on, but that's kind of what they've gone for here, and I'm here for it.
Gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true. If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life, but if I were...
I love that when she sings, "If I was a hero, would you be mine?" Up until that point, this fight is continuing in the background. I mean, it's not. We come back to the same spot, but it has that vibe that nothing's been resolved yet. And "If I was your hero, would you be mine?" She gets to that point where there's this confident push in the lyrics, and then she defeats Green Golly with this sort of special move. Usually wouldn't be this easy to defeat somebody in a fighting game unless it's the super cheese boss at the end of the game who has the ability to wipe you out in 2 hits, because arcade machines wanted you to put more money in, and so the easiest way of doing that was to let you get to the very, very end of the game and have somebody at the end who was almost impossible to beat, who would then wipe the floor with you, and you'd go, "Damn it, I was so close," and put more money in the machine. But yes, anyway, jumping back on that. That's a great visual to end up on.
I never gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true.
I really like what they've done with the motion here. You kind of have these moves, and then a slow, there's a kind of a ballistic motion, and then this kind of slightly more airy, slower movement. They've kind of got this lovely balance between like hitting something and then allowing a motion to flow through and continue, and then the walks and things like that. Like it's not kind of pushing the dance ahead of the music. The music isn't that crazy, so the dance isn't that crazy. It's a really nice blend. They've done a really good job with this.
Never gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true. If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life, but if I were to save you, would you do the same and catch me if I'm falling? If I was your hero.
Now, what I really, really like about this chorus, it's super catchy. If I was your here, falling, falling, if I was... It's within the space of an octave. And really, one of the keys to sort of creating something that's memorable, it's not, you don't have to follow this, but it certainly makes it easier, I think, is constraining your vocal range to a certain space. It is very obvious Faouzia can sing outside of this particular range. She does, in fact, in the verse. But keeping the chorus within that octave means it's not travelling too far, makes it easier to be a memorable piece of music. I think that's a really, really good choice.
Catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling. If I was your hero, would you be
Now this, I love what they've done here.
falling, falling, falling? If I was your hero.
Where is it? There. Okay, this is where I want to freeze it. I love that this... So this is kind of like, I think... Is it Wave Racers? Things like that, all those like jet ski games that you get at the arcade. I love that. Going through the rings in the timed races. Like if you don't reach a ring... Again, this is a very typical style of game. You have to race from point A to point B, and there are tons of rings along the way, and if you don't go through one of the rings before your time runs out, you lose, but if you get through the ring, you have time added to get to the next one. Very, very typical. I love it. But what I really love is the production, and I love the fact that they let you see it. Just like the jank in the fighting game, now in this racing game, we can see she's in front of one of the... I can never remember the name of them, but one of these big LED screens. And you can see, like, they've got the cloth on the floor flapping like a wave. They haven't attempted to hide that. They very deliberately made it visible to us, the audience. And I think that's fantastic. Presumably, the same fans that are helping to flap the cloth are also blowing the pigtails around. Brilliant move. Brilliant move, because it's not in any way shying away from what the video is, and it's very deliberately letting us in on the joke. And I think that's great. Really, really cool choice.
Falling, 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 falling. If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale.
Oh, I'm sorry, she does go out. Da, 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 da. She goes a fifth above. I just lied through my teeth. I will correct that with a little note earlier on in the video. Yeah, she does. She goes way out of that. But it almost doesn't feel like it. I think that's maybe the point I was going for. It feels constrained enough that it's got that lack of crazy flying all over the place complexity, which is maybe what I was sensing, even though I was wrong about the actual going out of the octave.
This is real life, but if I were to save you, would you do the same? And catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling.
Oh yeah, I was hearing the second half of it where she doesn't actually do that. But yes, I love this whole thing. I love the fact that her look has changed so much. Like, Ouihya versus this character are two completely different people. The whole makeup has changed. The whole outfit has changed. This time we don't have... It would be very difficult to have choreography on 5 jet skis. So it makes sense we don't have the dancers for this. But you have action. You have stuff happening behind. But we've gone from this massive clash of colours of that garden. Now we've just kind of really got blues plus the red of the jet ski and the lights that are reflecting off the jet ski's windscreen. It's a nice choice to have that. Because blue wasn't a primary color in the previous section of the video, whereas now it is the primary color, and it's just very, very effective, I think, switching between those two.
This is real life, but if I were to save you, would you do the same? And catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling.
And I like, again, we're having that... Last time, if I remember correctly, we didn't cut on those fallings. This time, the first 3, it cuts to a different pose, and so we get a little bit of motion going on in the camera as well. Now we get H2 Faouzia, and I love that she's fighting CSAS. That's amazing, with Random Shark in the background. And now she's even got the blue skin, this kind of underwater character that she's inhabited. Is this the same... Yeah, this is the same outfit that she's wearing. So they've just changed the skin tone. I love that each one has these kind of unique powers that they're given. Like, there's so much thought has gone into this video. It's really well put together.
I'm better off alone. At least that's what my mind is saying. I think I've been through it too much. So you gotta assure that this love is short. Would you be?
This, I love the special effects that they've created here. This kind of water attack that they use. Like, Again, it's the same premise. We've got this very kind of 8-bit background with the multi-layers that are simply created by a different, using slightly different shades of color. The stuff that's closer to you see more clearly, so it's darker. The further away it gets, the more kind of murky water kind of obscures it, hence it's a slightly lighter shade. What they've also done, I think... Yeah, they've done this really cool thing. They're using what's called parallax, and this is an effect that was brought in, and it's so powerful in video games. You'll notice if you look, the dark terrain as the camera pans is moving faster than the murkier terrain in the background. Because if you, let's say you're running past a lamppost and there's a tree a fair distance away, you will appear to pass the lamppost much faster than you pass the tree, because you notice the difference of how something is moving close to you much more than you notice the difference of how something is moving further away, or how fast you are moving past it. And so parallax is that effect that actually allows it to look real. If everything here moved simultaneously without that change in motion, it wouldn't look as real. It would look like a cardboard cutout that had simply, was one layer thick and had been built up with different colors rather than being staggered back. And that's why this, that when that came into gaming, it kind of made everything look so much better.
Maybe I'm better off alone. At least that's what my mind is saying.
Yeah, really, really effective. I love what they've done with this. Small details go a long way, and this is full of small details.
I think I've been through it too much, so you gotta show that this love is short. Would you be?
I love that camera motion right there.
So you gotta show that this.
We start off coming in, but then we have this flip of her upside down, and this kind of very quickly staggered.
Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend through the thick and the thin, never second guessing with.
Now we have this totally different feel. Red is now... What I kind of like is there's a bit of blue in the garden, and then blue becomes the primary colour. There's a bit of red on the jet ski, and now red is the primary colour. We're kind of teasing the next section's colour, which is really effective because it leads us in so easily. We have this lovely smoke, these logs, like it gives you this dark sort of hellscape look. She's kind of gone... almost slightly punkish with the red streaks in the hair, this very kind of spiky hairstyle she's got going on, the black, this kind of thick necklace. Total look change again. She's very versatile as an artist in how she looks, which is fantastic. Really, really like what she's done with this.
Would you be there 5 a.m. on a weekend through the thick and the thin, never second guessing with you. Don't wanna wake up wishing I never gave love, wishing I never gave trust, knowing it wasn't true. If I was your hero, would you be mine?
I love also that balance coming out of that bridge into the chorus, where you go from this kind of do ba, we jump straight up the octave.
And it wasn't true. If I was your hero, would you be mine?
It gives it a really punchy introduction, and I also like here this break from.
Knowing it wasn't true.
We've got this boom, 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 and this, and then we get cut away from that very kind of deep sound with the drums being kind of the higher pitched thing, and we break back into these kind of very pitsy strings that give you this total tonal shift as well.
If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life. But if I were to save you, would you do the same and catch me?
And this boom, cha, boom, cha, boom, like really deep down. It doesn't give kind of like a menace to it or anything like that, even though it's quite a deep sound. I think because it's sort of slightly muffled, it actually just works to counterbalance the height of the strings and fill the arrangement out a little bit, which is a choice I really, really like. Again, this beautiful backdrop that they've got here with this lava effect going on and the fire. They also Flaming Faouzia. Again, the name's absolutely fantastic. Simple things, but it's really, really effective. Love the nails here. Haven't been paying too much attention to them. They just are obviously standing out because of the pose.
But if I were to save you, would you do the same and catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling? If I was your hero.
And it has this very, very effective. You have that over that. You have 3 beats of build up, 1 beat of everything cutting off except the drums, I think.
If I'm falling, 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 falling. If I
Yeah, very, very effective. Well, it's actually 6 beats and then 2 beats. But that lovely kind of build through that cutoff, you know it's going to come straight back in again. It's just a nice little energy build.
Catch me if I'm falling, 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 falling. If I was your hero, would you be mine? I know this ain't a fairy tale, this is real life. But if I were to save you, would you do the same? And catch me if I'm falling, falling, falling.
I like how we get different kind of... She's still portraying different characters. You still have this very wavy motion from this character, Ouihya's character. Flaming Foe's a little bit more kind of aloof, you know, the sort of wide fingers, sort of slightly more standoffish motion. H2 Foe a little bit more kind of bouncy, a bit more side to side on the jet ski. Like, she's created personalities for these that stand through really, really well in the video, I think.
Falling, falling. You got my heart on its knees and it's begging you, please don't go. And I'll be
And I like that we get the final character as we come through into the major bridge of the song. Very, very effective. Love it. Again, a totally different look once again. I like that this time we have this kind of contrast of the blue and the green. So she has this very vibrant green dress. Like, this is very, very clearly green, but they've given it that blue tone again, kind of creating this airy personality, but it gives it this sort of tealy, turquoisey colour later on. And I love that how we go from here, we have these pixelated hearts coming on the screen, but this otherwise very clear sky background with the reflection. So again, I'm assuming this is the LED screen, and we're seeing the reflection of her in the floor. But then we cut from that. Oh, the pixelated birds too, the doves maybe, flying past, kind of creating this, like the computer game world is around her, the real person. But then we cut to this, where we have this very kind of animated filter over the top of it all, so that she looks a bit more like she's in this world of the game. Small touches that just allow, and what we're going to get from here... And now we get the pixelated clouds. Now we're in this backdrop type world where it's different to... It's the same place she was just in, as it is with all of them, but with a different look to it. And I think that's a really, really nice choice. Going back on the singing for a minute. So this is nice. It's not actually as high as she sings, because she's not gone up to the... my voice is tired this morning. That she sails up to the 5th. Now she's only on the 2nd. She's only on the 2nd here, but it's consistently on the 2nd, which makes the whole thing feel higher than it really is. She only hits that 5th for a second and then falls down back into the octave that I thought the song was in earlier. Whereas here it's consistently high, and therefore it kind of feels like the whole thing's been pulled up a little bit. And now we have this beautiful descant that's being sung, I guess, by the Breezier character. But I love that we now add this element in at the end of it. We've got this additional layer to the music that's going on. We've built up so far. We've got this really thick musical arrangement going on underneath it, but now there's one more element being added on top. And I love that it's not being overused. It's a da-da! Da-da! Like, it's just coming in here and there. It's not consistent. And then you get that lovely rise up the falling while the main vocal is staying on that fallin'. The other part is climbing up and giving it a little bit more tension, leading us to something else. It's fantastic. Beautiful quality up there. Her voice is so clear. She's got a serious range on her. That, you know, kind of the main... What I love is that because of the arrangement that she's got here, the main melody of the song is constrained, as it keeps it in that sort of slightly, maybe not as tight as I said earlier, but that slightly tighter feel. She's not going all the way up to the top as part of the main melody, but she is putting it in there in that backing sort of counterpoint harmony that's going on that is allowing her to show off still. It's allowing her to demonstrate what she can do without breaking away from the established sort of melody for the chorus. Really, really nice stuff. I'm assuming that's the reflection that we had a shot of there, because we were seeing her reflected in that scene. I love that. What a weird focus, but it's a really cool idea. I really like that as an ending. The last note that actually happens, that's physically, her voice carries on, but the last note that is actually struck is in the accompaniment, just that one tiny second after the falling bump. Really nice. I really like also, I think the fact that we pull away when that hits, you get that bump, 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 bump. When that hits, we lose the drums, we just get that cymbal playing through the beginning of it, and then we cut to, what is it? It's sort of a mixture of a plucked string and a bowed string synth. But it's just a really nice blend there. We kind of have that little pattern fall through, but it gives us a little bit of a percussive effect because of the pizzicato that's in there, but also the longer notes because there's that sort of bowed feel and a bit more decay on some of the lower notes. Gives us a really, really nice effect that just it's still supporting the vocals. It's not that kind of very open, feel that you can get with just a pizzicato string. It's more involved than that, but it's so pulled back from where we just were in the song. And then we get this awesome retro piece of music on the way out. I mean, it's fantastic. I love that. And I also love that she is playing her game not as one of the characters. She's a different Faouzia now. Like, she's dressed in clothes that are unrelated to any of the four of them. Really, really nice choice. And then, like, the selection sounds to wipe everything out. This is great. What a fantastic song. Great presentation. Really, really detailed. The amount of thought that got put into that. That's a really, really nice video. I like that a lot. Thank you very much indeed to Ms. Chuck Fu for recommending this to me. That was a lot of fun. And I'm really, really happy. I've tripped over a very cool singer. Thank you so much for joining me for this one. I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope I brought something to you, whether it was Faouzia herself, the song, or just, you know this, and I gave you some little spark of, that I hadn't thought about that way. That's kind of what I try to do here. Happy 3,000 subscribers. That's what this was all about. Oh, are you coming to say hello as well? You are. Timmy says, yay, 3,000 people love me. Yes, they do. I am so happy to be, my channel's growing slower than many would because my videos are so long, and that's fine. I wouldn't be doing justice to things if I wasn't putting the time in that I do. That's not how I hear cool stuff, I want to share it. That's kind of what this channel is all about. So I really appreciate those of you who have subbed to me. If you haven't subbed, please do consider doing so. Hit the like button, the notification bell, and if you would care to donate to support the work that I do here, you can do so at buymeacoffee.com or patreon.com, and both of those are /David K Reacts, or by leaving a super thanks here on YouTube, and any of those would be gratefully appreciated. Timmy says it will get me some more kibble. Yes, it will. But a special thanks to you if you're still here watching this. I hope that you enjoyed that. And that will be it for this video. I will be back next week with some more cool stuff and back to sort of the regularly scheduled programming. And yeah. I think that's everything, so I will say thank you one final time. Take care of yourselves. Have an absolutely wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. I don't know. 1:32 p.m. Let's try that, see if I get someone that way. Look after yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.